welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Today is another very exciting video as I'm going to be taking you through a build that I have created for the new Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature pack. Today I will be taking you through my bar build called GRINGLE'S. I've been calling it GRINGLE'S, which is really funny. This bar lot appears in Sprucederry Grove, and this is the bar that you may have seen when we first announced that I was a part of this project. By this stage, you know all about this project, but just know this has been a crazy couple of months. And the fact that I can finally share my in-depth process of how I created these builds means a lot because I really enjoy watching behind the scenes, and I'm glad I can take you along with me for this journey. So thank you so much to The Sims for giving me this amazing opportunity. This really does mean a lot. The footage I will be showing you is all very early on. It is not final software. It is not finalized, and it will progressively be changing throughout this video. I will be also showing you stages of development of my own build as we went through the feedback together, but as all of this is happening, the world around my build will also be changing. Of course, if you do decide to purchase this pack, don't forget that you can use my creator code at checkout in the promo code section. That will go to directly supporting me as a creator. But with all of that aside, let's get into some detail. As I've mentioned, what you see on the screen is not final software. It is all still in development, and what you see here might not make it into the final game. It is all a thought process. It's all a sketch, and I was so excited to be able to see a game that I truly love and I'm like super obsessed with. I was so glad to see it from start to finish almost. Like, we saw the game when it was literally just like bare bones of an idea, and it was such a fun behind the scenes process. But as I said, I do have to specify, I do have to mention that it's all super early on in the game, the footage that you see here. Also, you will see my gallery name, PC Diva, floating around the screen. That is obviously for like a safety feature as well, just in case anyone was to take a screenshot. We know that the footage on this screen is mine. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to take you along a little bit through this bar, this process. Obviously, this world is inspired by Ireland, a lot of Celtic kind of folklore vibes. So I really wanted to take that and really run with it. So as you know me, I don't necessarily build too many, fantasy worlds. Many kind of fairy homes and things like that are not normally what I'm used to, but you give me a challenge and I will give you whatever. Like, I literally will set myself into the scene. And I was so proud, and after reading all of your guys' comments and hearing the feedback on this project, that everyone is so proud that somebody from Ireland is, kind of representing in The Sims, that literally made me so extremely happy to hear. And the fact that I also said this already in one of our interviews that we did, but I was so extremely happy to be able to give you firsthand kind of inspiration and research as best as I could. Obviously, you cannot please everyone, and I totally get that, but I just know that I put in my heart and my soul into this, and I tried my very best to, take as much research from the outside world as I can. Obviously, I cannot show you any pictures, but just know I went on a little road trip. We looked at some interesting like places, pubs, buildings that I really enjoyed from around where I live, and I've taken all of that and I've accumulated all of that into, a pile of research, and I've been looking at it for the last couple of months, and this is kind of what I came up with. So what you see on your screen is a little bar, but it's more so a community space. I did not want this bar to feel like, okay, we're just going in for drinks and that's it, Of course, this is a place where your Sims can come and wind down, chillax, have a little drinky poo at the bar, whatever. But I also really wanted this to feel a little bit more like a community space, in the sense that you can bring your loved one here, you could bring your family here. I have a couple of different features that I will take you through along in this build, such as my little chess table. There's like little cute swing sets in the back. There's a couple of different features that I wanted to add into the space to make it feel like any Sim could come here. A lot of that comes from the idea that I like to take my Sims, when I'm playing my games, I like to take them places that I know we can get the most out of this place. Like usually half the time I'm doing like a rags to riches or some sort of a challenge. So I was like, I need at least one activity, one skill building thing on this lot. Obviously, like lovely bathrooms, somewhere to eat. I needed skill building activities, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I wanted this to feel a little bit more like a public place, which I would like to say that the word pub in Ireland resonates from the word public house, a place where people come together, obviously to have their drink, but pub culture, bar culture is a really big thing in Ireland. So I wanted to captivate that in the most literal way, but also quite a wholesome way. I still wanted this to feel a lot more wholesome because obviously this is a fairy pack. This is an enchanted pack. So I still wanted this to feel like fairies could come along here and have a cute game of chess together. I don't know, you get the idea. I mentioned I couldn't show you any pictures, but what I can show you is my sketches that I've sketches that I drew of this build, which I'm so extremely happy to finally show you. As an artist, as someone that takes creative things quite seriously, I really wanted to make sure that I am maximizing the potential of this lot. So I wrote down all of the things that I wanted to have on my lot, and then I sketched it out bit by bit alongside looking at the pictures of inspiration that I've taken from where I live. So all of that kind of combined together in some sketches, a lot of writing and notes as well to make sure that I am almost explaining every single thing back to me, every single aspect of that build, like why is that there? Why is that there? You know, like as you can see on the note, front porch area makes it inviting, question mark. Maybe add attic windows, wooden, question mark. You know, there's just a lot of little things that I know people will have questions about. You cannot please everyone, as I mentioned, but it was so fun to be able to have a thought behind every single feature of this build. And I think there was just something so exciting about that. The fact that I could have taken my creative approach and added it to a game I truly love. I think that was just a game-changing experience for me. What you're seeing on the screen though is a process of sketching also at the same time. I was sketching a lot of the designs week by week. I was sitting down daily, changing things around, seeing what kind of works for me and what doesn't work for me. Throughout this video, you will see me adding quite a lot of skill building areas. So just say, for instance, we also do have a little music section. That was very important because traditional music, like trad music playing in bars, is a very common thing. And I know it's a part of the culture here. You could be sitting in a bar and all of a sudden a group of people will come along with trad instruments, such as even like tin whistles, a little banjo here and there. They'd whip them out and start playing music within the bar, which I think is such a beautiful thing, and it is so nice to hear. So I wanted to have a little bit of music. So I created a small stage with a microphone. I know it's a microphone. It can be also used for saying jokes in The Sims, but I wanted to encapsulate that idea of the trad music within this. But also imagine how cute it would be to see like fairies just like singing up on the stage with their like cute little wings and stuff. I don't know. I think it's just a very nice thing to have in a pub. And also, as I mentioned, you don't need to bring your sim into the slot just to go have a drink or just on a date. You could use the slot to get your singing skill up, get your comedy skill. There is also a TV along with the fireplace, because also that is a very important thing in a bar as well, obviously, to watch the game and the sports, you know. But I thought that was actually quite cute as well, because your sims could actually come here to watch movies maybe if you wanted to. I guess you could also, if you do have the businesses and hobbies pack, I know I'm like mentioning a different pack along this, but imagine turning this into a cute business. I don't know. I'm gonna give you the ideas and you can work out the deets in between, but just know that there are skill building bits here and there thrown in, because that is quite important in my gameplay, so I wanted that to reflect in my bar. Weirdly enough, and maybe I slightly mentioned this in my starter home build, but I like to build crazy build challenges. Actually, that's what I do on my YouTube. We all know this, but I think those build challenges actually have taught me a pretty major building tip, I guess, for building a cohesive house, I guess. The way that I actually make sure that I fit in as many things as I want or get the message across is actually building bit by bit, almost from the inside out. So at the start of this video, you would have seen that I've actually created the bar area first, because that, you know, the bar where you will be sitting down, getting your little drink, that is, I suppose, the heart of a bar. So I actually started off with the bar, with how I wanted it to look, and I've worked everything you know, from the bar out. So I've moved myself to the left then to create a seating area, to the right to, you know, create another little table. But the bar is really the heart of this space. And as you come in through the front door, when we do a tour in the other video, you know, like the first person view, when we do that, you can really see the bar being like your main focus. Because if I was just to say create like a rectangle, put all my windows in first, when you're creating a build that you really want to have a specific purpose or quite a lot of activities or to run in a specific way, I would recommend to do it bit by bit, you know, whether it is the fact that you might actually have to put down some tables down first on just a plot of grass to figure out the actual shape. That is how I've created this build to look how I wanted it to, and make sure that I'm using the majority of the space and filling in the space the best as I can. Obviously, I had sketches to work with. I've also sketched everything out on paper before I started, but I think it was a really different way of approaching a build, because you're almost like drawing in The Sims on the grass with the bar and the chairs first, you know. Sometimes creating just the shape from the outside can be a little bit overwhelming. So one little pro tip builder from me to you would be to start actually from the inside. Just because you're putting down a chair first and then the walls after does not mean anything. And I think that was the one thing I've realized with this building project, to make sure that I am getting what I want to come across and not forgetting anything. I actually started with those things. I started off with my bar. I started off with where I want my little singing stage to be, you know, and I think that's how it kind of came together in a really nice way. And you could see that a little bit throughout this build. I just built wall by wall. I was almost like moving around the whole lot, you know, being like, right, let's move on to the left side of the building. And I think that really made every feature of this stand out and be important, because every part has a job that I was adding bit by bit, if you get me. Towards the other half of the video, what I did want to include as well is the monthly kind of feedback sessions that we had with each other, with the other creators, with the Sims team, which I thought was just the best thing I think I've ever experienced as a sim builder. I've learned so many things from the Sims team and from the other creators as well, which obviously you should definitely check them out. I will have them all tagged for you down below because they're all so amazing. But this whole process was just game changing for me. I keep saying that, but it is just wild to say that my creative thoughts that we've so in-depth worked on together for the last couple of months, those will be immortalized along with me, my name, in a game for the rest of my life. And I think that is just such a proud moment for me. So I really, really hope you guys enjoy these builds when you see them. What you will see throughout this footage also is just the process of me building it, but also I will have tour videos where I will take you in depth and like a first person tour of my build, and I can explain more little details of why I did such a thing, why we ended up going with this, you know, in the end, because what you see in this particular video is all just a work in progress. This is all the development stages, which I think people do really love to see behind the scenes. I know I do. So that's why I wanted to make as much in-depth videos on these builds, because these builds will be in the game for the rest of my life. So if anyone has any questions, you can just come into this build, you can come into this video and figure it all out and see my thought process behind it. I know there's like a lot of disclaimers here and there, but also as you're watching this, know that this may have been really early on in the game when we started the project. So a lot of these items that I'm placing down are just placeholders. We did not have a lot of the Enchanted by nature build and buy objects just yet because the game was in development. So I use base game to kind of sketch out where I kind of want things. In the other half of the video, you will see me changing those objects bit by bit as things are getting added into the game, which was just so fun and so satisfying to watch me do that in this video. We also have a very beautiful little sunroom with the new glass wall feature. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with that feature, and you will see that further on as we get in through this video. At the start, I did have to just use windows to portray that idea, but at that point I knew that feature was coming into the game. But that room essentially is a nice little kind of quiet, I don't want to make like a VIP area, but I wanted there to be like a a family section. If you wanted to actually have a birthday party on the slot, I suppose you could somehow. If you wanted to have like a little board meeting, I don't know what you'd be doing in your game, but that's why I've created, I suppose, like a cool little sunroom to chillax. Come here for your Sunday roast and yeah, I don't know, just chillax with your family, I guess. As you're watching this part, I'm actually just only sketching it out as I just mentioned, so nothing here is final, and I do actually, I think, end up moving it over to the other side. I mean, it didn't really matter what side the sunroom was on, but I kind of structurally really wanted there to be an open area as you come in, make it feel very inviting, make it feel very wholesome, that like, you know, everyone come on in. But then if you did want like a little bit of a quiet area, you can kind of shoot out to the left or the right, you know, and kind of just have a little moment, you know, maybe there's like a big party going on in the main area or someone singing, but you need like a minute for a quiet date or something, I don't know. You can kind of use that sunroom in that respect. So, you know, it didn't really matter to me where it is as long as it was kind of on either the left or the right side of the building. So that was all still a work in progress, and I was very excited to show you that in that video, because things are changing and things are always going to be molding into a shape, but for now it's all just sketches really. I still cannot believe I actually did this for The Sims, and when I first got reached out to by the team to ask me whether I'd be able to do this, I was like, oh my god, of course I'll be able to do this. Then there was, you know, emotions in my head. I was like, oh, am I actually able to do this? I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that really do enjoy my building videos and that do enjoy my building style, but it always kind of crossed my mind that I have to do a really good job of this, and there's kind of no turning back now, you know. So I really enjoyed this process in the end, even though I was very nervous to make sure that I'm giving it my all. But towards the end, as I'm even watching this video, I'm just so glad I did this video, because it's gonna be like a little memory for myself to look back on. But just know that once I got into spirit of this build, I was in love. And this actually, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but this is one of my favorite builds I think that I have ever done. I've really worked a lot on this one in particular. I of course love my other two builds for this pack as well that I did. This build, for some reason, it's just so close to my heart, because I think it's so different to what I'm normally used to building, like my contemporary homes. That's why I think this house is just a very special house. It's not a house, it's a bar, Sandra. But this bar is a very special bar, and Gringle's will always have a special place in my heart. We will go into more sub story details in other future videos, but for now, just know that what you see here is my first sketch. We're coming to the end of this part of the video. I have taken extra time, and obviously in between each check-in session that we've had with the team, to perfect my build and perfect my design. So every single thing you see from in this video is all just a work in progress. But now let's move on to the feedback sessions, and now this is where you really see some substantial and major changes happening to really shape Gringle's into the bar that it is today. So we've got some very exciting things I want to show you. So this is what I've just added. So we have gotten these glass walls. So I honestly feel like these curtains are now becoming a little bit redundant, because I had windows here before as placeholders because I knew these walls were coming. Now again, a lot of this might change because this is so early access and the game is still in development, but I thought I'd show you the effect that it has on my build, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. It kind of brings like the out in, and I love the way it made my build look. I mean, I'm still working on it, so I still might change a couple of things around. For instance, I really want there to be, I suppose, an edge here of some sort, and this edge doesn't really work here for some reason, and I don't really understand why. Oh wait, no, it works now. So was it one of these plants, I suppose? Yes, okay, it might have been this plant, which is okay. I mean, I'd rather get rid of the plant, have, I suppose, like a little bit of an edge, because it's such like a wooden structure, this whole area, this whole place. I think I'd prefer to have a little bit of like a wooden structure, almost showing you that this is how it's holding up. You can actually put the glass wall up there because it is a wallpaper, so you can wallpaper up there. Actually, maybe that looks a bit better. I think I like the way this is looking, so obviously I'll have to work around again with the landscaping and things, but that's okay. But I definitely want this part of my build to be glass. Also, like the way that when you're walking around the world, like this kind of almost pathway area, the way that the sim might be walking this way, it'll be nice and inviting to almost like see, oh, what's going on down in the bar, you know? I like the way that I made this glass feature here, because it almost is more like, come on over to our bar. Because essentially, I don't really want my bar to just be like, oh, a place to just drink. I want it to be almost like a community place, you know, but like hang out. I like this little chess area area. Now again, I don't know whether I'll keep this chess area here, but I like there to be activities. Like I like my little stage area. I think that's pretty cute. It's a bit boring at the moment, but you get the point. I want this place to feel like you can bring your Sims to do random things here, not necessarily just drinking. I think that's quite a fun part of my build. I kind of like that. Wait, now let me check my notes, because I literally have notes, because that's how much of a nerd I am when it comes to this. So I originally had my little pink chairs here, but that was a bit much. I mean, I do agree. That was just kind of like a fun little thing to try out. Not sold on it. I mean, I wasn't. A lot of these objects are still placeholders. A lot of this might still change, but the doors and windows keep being glitchy. But I did like the idea of having like a vibrant color. And now I don't know whether I should change my little planter boxes, because I kind of still want to have a little bit of color. Maybe if pink is not going to be the color, maybe it's yellow, you know? I kind of maybe enjoy the yellow a little bit more, considering there's purple, like that lavender purple vibes. It might make the yellow stand out a bit more. You get me? I don't know. Hopefully you get me. But anyways, and also the planter boxes being brown, I think they have a cute vibe as well. There's a lot of different like small little tweaky things that I could go through and change. But yeah, for the moment, I'm gonna leave it like this. What if I make it what if I make it yellow? I'll see how we get on with the second feedback meeting. I think I might keep it green for the moment. Another change that I've made, which was a suggestion from the team, which I totally agree, because I think that this space really needed something. We still might have to remove some seating areas, because at the moment there's a lot of chairs. I've already moved a couple. I've decided to add this kind of like, not incline, decline, like this little step down area. I don't know how functional that would be, and I don't know whether I like the fact that I've made it grass themed. That's also a weird thing to do, but I'm kind of interested in this kind of idea of bringing the outside in. Again, that may not stay the way it is at the moment. I'm still playing around with this, so it'll be interesting to see what the team say about that. But that makes me think, is there just too much green on the inside here now? Like, do I add like a little bit of orange or something? Like, it kind of would be interesting if I had like a little bit of orange, but then am I making it a bit too Irish, like with the orange and the green? You know, I don't know. I also don't think there's enough plants and things around, so I think I need more. Let me see. Oh, definitely like one of these somewhere, like a cute little seating area. Oh my god, yes. Okay, I don't know where. Okay, I just pressed the Alt key automatically, so ignore that. Maybe I'll put you like right there for the moment, just at least so that I remember, because I more than likely will forget all these things. Wait, there's these chairs. What if I instead actually use these chairs in here? That would be cute, like very outdoorsy vibed. You know, I kind of like just the dark wood, and then if I make this also like a dark wood, yeah, that's actually quite cute, don't you think? I think that's really pretty. Now again, that might have to be changed, but so far I am really liking this. I also really like this bench. I think that's pretty cute. I did change the rug for one of the new rugs. I don't know which one I'm going to go for yet, because they're all absolutely stunning. Look at this dragon one. I wish I had that in real life. I mean, the dragon doesn't really give me bar vibes. It kind of gives me more like mystical dungeon vibes, so maybe not. That's too cute for the inside of the bar. But yeah, I am kind of thinking that this one probably would make the most sense, like the green. I don't know, guys. There's just so many options. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, I think I like the green and the orange. I think it is really tying in that Irish vibe for me. Again, all of these things might change. I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot in this video, but I really just wanted you guys to be along with me on this whole journey of figuring all of this out, because this is so interesting. This is probably one of my favorite things as well to look at, you know, like when some creator makes something behind the scenes. It's like, it's just the most interesting part for me. So I just wanted you guys to have this experience with me, because I think it's pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to use these new tables. I think are more the Enchanted Forest vibes. I mean, maybe I could use this thing somewhere. Maybe I could put it like here, make it like wooden, like this, and then we put something on top of it. Oh, I love this little guy. Oh my god, he is literally my favorite. I will probably be asked to remove him, but oh my god, look at him. He's all grumpy. I don't know. I actually don't think I want that there. Anyways, there wasn't really a lot of feedback that I've received for this build in particular. There was a couple of things I had to remove, like this light, for instance. Oh, actually, sorry. No, there was feedback, Sandra. Don't get too ahead of yourself. I do need stereos, so I think I might put this one here and this one here. I think that would kind of make sense to have them two over there. You know, like, I guess the wall kind of fits the space there. I think that makes sense. Then we also need a garbage bin, and I presume garbage bin, they just mean like one of these. So the trash bin vibes. So maybe I'll put that somewhere at the back of the build. I don't know where though. I kind of don't really want to like ruin the back of the build with a trash can. So I wonder if I was to do like a hidden little trash chute thing, like almost if I was to move this tree, just say like over here, right? And then if I take my little brown fence, just say for instance, and if I just do a little trash area, that actually might be kind of cute. Could do like 2 little wheelie trash bit. Okay, Alt key needs to forget about it. You get the idea. I think that would actually look quite cute because it's almost like, wait, now I think I need to move it over one. I kind of like that idea, and then you could just like hide it almost, because I mean this world is so pretty. I don't want it to look like the bins are just like hanging out there, you know. I don't want to see the bins. I don't want to see it. I want this to be as pretty as possible. So yeah, no bins on site at all. So that kind of looks cute, and then I could do like a little path to the bins or something. I don't know, I kind of like this. Maybe the team might not like that, and that's totally fine. But you see then, like from this side, when the Sims are walking around, they won't be able to see the ugly bins. They'll be like, oh, there's something back there, and then your Sim will be like, oh my god, there's a fun hidden thing behind there. No, there isn't. It's just bins, so don't get your hopes up. But still, I think that's pretty cute. Maybe we'll add another one of like these there, another one of these. I don't know, that's a bit dramatic, but you get the idea. Okay, well, I did forget the garbage and the trash can. Let me continue, and I will probably see you after the second feedback meeting for more updates. Well guys, this is me and my bar build after our second lot of feedback notes, feedback meetings. The meetings are going amazing. I'm really having a lot of fun, you know, playing these things out, talking to the team. I think it's actually a really exciting experience. Obviously, I'm very grateful for it. So this is what I have submitted to the team the last time, and they loved it. And I'm so grateful for the fact that they actually are loving my build. And I mean, this one in particular, I am legit, I can tell you this now, I'm obsessed with this build. Like, it is probably one of my favorite things that I've built, in the sense that it is full. There's a lot going on. The color scheme, like, it feels amazing, and it has like an earthy tone vibe to it, but it is a bar. I still wanted it to feel more so like a community space. Now, they've really loved everything. They loved my landscaping, which I was worried about because I really wanted to add as much landscaping as possible. I wanted this to feel cute and earthy and like plants. The amount of bugs and spiders would give me anxiety, but that doesn't matter. But I think it's the purple tones that I really liked. That's why I changed some of these, because you can change the color of these. But it's the purple with the lavender breaking up with that little bit of yellow and the green. I think that is the scheme that I really want to go for, which brings me to this part, which has the lovely little, are they like wisteria? Hydrangea? Wisterias, I think, are they? The purple like little plants. I love that. And they loved my terrain painting, which, I mean, terrain painting really does change a build, so that is very important. But they loved the storytelling of that obviously the bar has been there for a while. We've used these swings for a good while. So yeah, it's the terrain painting that is very important to me. And I have my little like circular pattern here. But the reason why I put the circular thing there, maybe I've already talked about it a little bit, but it's kind of a link to fairy forests that we have in Ireland. So literally circular little fairy grottos like that. And I think that little pathway, obviously your Sims can't really walk around it. I mean, you can force them to, but it just has like a little bit of something, and it takes up that space a little bit better. And looking at the fairy gardens and forests, fairy trails that we have in Ireland, they're all very like cutesy and windy and earthy and vibey. So I kind of like that idea, and it just breaks up the space nicely, because that's the most important thing to build in The Sims for me, is breaking up the space, making sure that the lot feels used to its potential. Obviously not too, you know, perfectly placed, but you know, obviously just to make sure that we're using the most out of our potential as possible and being as creative as possible. Anyways, let's get into the list of notes that I have. So they really love this room. It's a bit dark, but I kind of like it. I mean, I think I'm okay with it. Did I not have a chandelier placed here? Or did I remove that? Oh, I removed it because there's no ceiling. I was considering adding indoor like shrubbery, because one of the notes is that they do want more indoor plants. Sometimes you're like, how many times can I reuse this potted plant? You know, I wish I had more variations of these. Like for the moment, I could potentially add 2 of these like right here. Wait, maybe definitely something here in the corner. But why can't I fit one in there. It's like things like that now that will just break you apart. It's like, why can't you fit in there? Why don't I move you into this corner? Then wait, now moving on just quickly while I'm over here. The clothes hanger, this thing, it's not a clothes hanger, it's a clothes horse. What is this? Moving it over a little bit so that it doesn't get lost. I think that's a pretty good spot for it to be. I wish I could add this bloody plant, but it just doesn't fit anywhere. I'm trying to add this bloody plant. It just does not fit. Where can I put you? There is more plants coming, so I'm hoping that once I get a little bit more, I'll be able to play around with this, because plants, I think they look best when they're just naturally placed rather than being, you know, so perfectly polished in a place. Like, I want them to look more natural, so it can be a little bit difficult to make this work. So maybe something like this would actually work here. Yeah, the yellow to break it up a little bit. I mean, maybe there might be a little bit of playability issues there, but I'm willing to wait and see what they say about that, because I think that is something that they will be doing shortly. I think maybe after the last feedback meeting, I think that is something they will be doing, just to give us a little bit of feedback on whether things actually will work or not, because you know, the Sims, the Sims sometimes can have issues walking around things, so I totally understand that they will probably have issues in this place. And then the last thing they wanted to change was to move this that way, which that does make sense because it is, you know, directional. As you're coming in, you see the pattern. I guess it's fine. Like, it makes it a little bit more interesting. It makes it more inviting, I suppose, because you are following the natural grain of the floor. So, but why can't you go in like that? Is it because of these stupid things? What if I move them in? Wait, yeah, is that better? Kind of. I think that's kind of nice. Does that look like an area that the sim can get stuck in? Probably. Wish I could put that over there. There is just, you know, it really just shows you how much move objects means to me. I kind of like this thing to maybe be underneath there. What are we thinking? That's pretty cute, isn't it? I mean, it's a very busy area there. One last thing I almost forgot about actually for this lot is we now have a feature that allows me, hopefully, to put plants on the roof, which I don't know whether that is something that will look good on this lot. Does it look a bit awkward? Can I put a rock up there? No, but you can actually just put like a whole bush up there. I could put an elephant up there. I mean, why not? That essentially, looking at my notes, is everything. So I will leave this for the moment the way it is. I will make the other changes that are required off camera, and then I shall see you after our last third final feedback meeting. So guys, we have now finished the third feedback meeting, and I've got some notes that we will be taking you through, and this is going to be the last time I'm doing the little update and doing my final finishing touches to my bar today. So let's get into it. And honestly, the funny thing about all of this is that I barely have any notes for this. Like, I've got practically nothing. The only thing I really have to do is just add this one new plant feature that we've got in the game, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. So this is going to be amazing. Okay, let me just show you what it is. I feel like you're going to hear this so much in my videos, but there is this new planter pot feature. So you get these little planter pots, you know, you're just like, oh, they're just regular little planter pots. What are you talking about? But then okay, at the moment in my game, because this is beta version, I have to like search them, and then they come up pretty weirdly over here. So then you plant these little guys inside the little pots, and the pots come with beautiful like little designs, very like Celtic vibes. Love that. Very ceramic-y feeling as well. Like with these ones, you can kind of see that little texture. Absolutely, just give it a round of applause. It's beautiful, it's brilliant, and I'm obsessed. So we've got to add a couple of these around, which, I mean, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's probably the best thing you can do. And the one thing I'm going to add as well, actually, something that one of the girls suggested. I think one of the girls added this, one of the other creators, and it's fireflies. And I personally think, how amazing would it be just to have like random fireflies everywhere? So I think I might add one like over here, maybe one slightly offset over there, maybe definitely, she says, in my little fairy garden area over here, the little fairy port. Yeah, I think it kind of makes sense. They're kind of like everywhere, but not too much. So I think that would be quite nice. So we've added little fairy lights, and then we've got to add some plants. So I am going to remove this guy. I really like this one though. I don't really like this one. So can I put you there? Right. Lovely. Then can I get you to go like, oh my God, I love how they're such a small little item that they can actually fit everywhere. So you can almost make like a little like arrangement with them. I love this. I love this pack. I'm all about it. I'm sorry. I'm like obsessed. So can you tell I'm obsessed? I'm gonna definitely add one like like right here. Definitely with like a little bit of a pattern. I think that's stunning. Definitely one over here, maybe this one. Should we do the blue? It kind of works nicely with like the little cushions. They're slightly like a bluey tinge. And then definitely I want one up here. I wish I could put like more on this little area here. Okay, we'll add fern dude over here with the spotty version. Then I will add, I think I'll add the little monstera like right here. And then we will add the pothos. I think that one's my favorite personally. Pothos plant. Yeah, this guy, oh my bloody heck. Look at the sun coming through that window and tell me that you're not like absolutely obsessed. I don't think I want to change this too much. I'm really proud of this little build, and I really hope you guys really like it as well, because I looked at this the other day and I just thought to myself, oh my god, I cannot believe that this will be added into the Sims game. And that was the biggest fears of mine when I started doing this project. I really thought to myself, how do I make this so good and I'm not going to be like, not to say ashamed of showing it to people, that I'm like 100% positive and confident about every single feature. I was like, that's going to be so overwhelming to do. This journey was just so fun, and I've managed to create this beautiful build because I was having so much fun. But at this point, I'm starting to believe that I don't really care what other people will think of it, because I'm just so proud of the way that this turned out, especially this bar, and obviously my two other builds as well. But this bar, I just want to say I really love it, and I hope you guys will as well, but just know that I'm obsessed with it. So anyways, I'm going to do a couple of finishing little touches. I'll wait for maybe the next update. I might add a few extra little tweaks here and there, and then we will do a final tour afterwards once I've sent everything off. Well guys, here we are with my bar lot. So I have finally sent everything off now. So what you see here is what I suppose finished off with. So there's still a couple of changes that can be made throughout, so it's still an ongoing process. I am extremely so happy with how this turned out, with all of the landscaping, but I suppose like the colors and the way that it works on the lot. And again, just to mention that this is not final software. Anything you see in this world on this lot, anything you see here is subject to change, because you know we're all still in the process of developing this amazing game. So anything you see here is a work in progress, but I think that is so extremely exciting, and I'm happy with what I produced and submitted to The Sims, because I'm just so excited that I get to create something that can make a difference to a pack. Like I mean that's just so exciting. So I'm so excited that my little idea of this bar that I have sketched out on like a piece of paper and have been working towards for many weeks, I'm just excited that this is the way that it turned out, and I'm excited to see what The Sims do with this. I mean, I'm just so proud to be able to gift them this so that they can take it and implement it into this pack, implement it into this world. I mean, it's going to be amazing to see everything looks like in the end. So let's just do a quick little like final tour. I just want to show you. I mean, obviously there's a couple of features that I thought were really important, but there's also loads of features that I would still be so happy to change throughout this process. So one of the main things I suppose is that this is not all of the worlds. Some of them do have quite high inspirations of Ireland, so I was kind of inspired by that idea too. And one of the main thing is the weather in that country. I just thought that the landscaping, the grassiness, even the textures of the floor, I thought that it would make sense for it to be quite dark, overgrown, because that essentially is what happens everywhere here. It's just everything grows at a rapid rate. So I thought that was quite important to almost make things look a little bit extra overgrown, which I really hope that that is something that I was able to portray with this. I have this little cute space here where your Sims can play something. Now this can also be changed out for something else. I just threw down, I suppose, like a chess table. My Sims never play chess also, but I just thought it would be kind of fun. You can exchange this for anything in the game. I mean, you could put like one of those games tables. I feel like that actually would have been more fun, but I like the idea of anything being able to add into this little like outdoor indoor space. It's almost like you're bringing the out in. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but I just wanted this lot to feel like, you know, you can do more. You can bring your kids here. The kids can play chess, you know, I don't know. One of the really fun things that we've get added to this is the glass walls. I mean, that is a feature that I just want to give a round of applause to The Sims for creating, because this looks absolutely amazing. And the way that you see it now, I mean, it still might change, but just the idea of adding a glass wall, I kind of wanted it to be almost the side of the house so that the Sims passing along can kind of see into the bar, into the space, and be like, whoa, I gotta go in there because that looks really fun in there, you know. So I really like the idea of creating this chunk of the build. There's a couple of fun little features like that I played around with that it kind of made everything come together. Anyways, you then head on over to the Party Central bar. I don't know, it's not meant to be Party Central, but I kind of like like the idea that like you'd come in here, you're like, oh my gosh, there's just so much greenery and wood. I don't know. I just think it's really fun. I painted the ceiling as well, kind of like a dark color. I wanted to create a cozy vibe. That's all I've really wanted to create with this cozy vibe, almost like this bar has been open for years. You know, this bar has been standing here for like 100 years and we've refurbished it over time, but you know, it's still like old. The floors are old, you know, the ceiling old, all the lanterns and things quite old. I love the idea. This is one of the things that I've really wanted and to play around with in this bar. It's the mismatched chairs, because that is a feature that I have been inspired by actual Irish bars, Irish pubs. The idea of like an old Irish bar, sometimes you go in there and it's almost like the owners live upstairs, and then, you know, over time the bar has changed, it has developed. Over time someone has stole a few chairs. I don't know. No, over time the chairs would have broken, so the owners would have replaced it with anything and everything. They would have make do with what they had, I suppose, you know, because you're running a bar, you're not running a multi-million-dollar company, you know. So it's kind of wholesome to see there be like a mismatch of chairs. Things were done with love, things were patched up here and there, you know, by the owners. So I kind of thought that was quite fun, and that is something that you do see in Irish pubs, so I thought that was a pretty interesting feature. But yeah, you've got a little karaoke section over here, which I thought was quite fun. I mean, it doesn't have to be karaoke, it doesn't have to be microphone, but any sort of like music, the live music aspect, again, inspired by an Irish bar, that I thought that was interesting. There's also a TV, just in case, you know, Sims wants to come and watch the sports, I don't know. Then over here we head on over to one of the most exciting parts of this build, which is the actual lounge area. It's a nice little space where your Sims can just chillax, see the outside world peeping in, you know. It would be actually very relaxing to see, like, you know, the horizon over there, you know, being able to see all the nature kind of creeping in. I really do like this room. I think that's an area where your Sims can really chillax. So you can bring your family in here, you know. I think it'd be quite fun as well. There's obviously a fireplace too. There's like a little conference area over here. I don't know. There's a couple of things that we were changing throughout the game to make sure that, you know, there isn't too many like seating areas and things like that, because I can get very overwhelming when there's so many seats, you know. So I don't know. Things can still change as they're going on, as the Sims take over now. Over here you also get to chillax and sit down. I also did like a little swing set at the side here, because again, I mean, your Sims can come here on like a date or something. They can bring their kids. There's just a lot of stuff that I wanted your Sims to be able to do, so I really like the idea of the swing set here. But anyways guys, that is, I suppose, my finished chunk. I just wanted to take you through what this looks like at the moment, but as I said, that this is not the final look, this is not the final idea. I'm excited to see where the Sims take this as the game is developing, as the game is progressing towards the final thing. So I'm very excited to be able to be a part of this. This is such an amazing experience, and the fact that I was able to create this build and apply my creativeness into this, it's just a dream come true, and I'm very excited for you guys to get the pack and see what it actually turned out like. But I just want to say that everything you see on the screen, every aspect of me in this build is done with love and as much care as possible, so I really hope you enjoy the build. Well guys, that is everything for this bar building Gringle's behind the scenes experience. I really hope you enjoyed. We will do another proper in-depth tour, like I probably said 1700 times in this video already, but this behind the scenes meant a lot to me, to be able to show you my thought process and how the build sort of shaped itself over time. Again, I want to say a massive thank you to The Sims, EA, to everyone that believed in me that I could do this and have given me this opportunity to really show off my skill. This does really mean a lot, and I hope everybody will enjoy all of our builds and see all of the effort that we have put into this over the last couple of months. So thank you again to everybody for watching. If you are going to be purchasing this pack, do consider using my creator code in the promo code section at checkout on the EA app. It really would mean a lot to me. There are so many different videos that I have coming up, more build videos, some gameplay coming up as well, so definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!